Minister of State for External Affairs, Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh in New York. In his official visit, he participated in a high-level open debate of the United Nations Security Council on exclusion, inequality, and conflict. And this was under the agenda item of maintenance of international peace and security, which was convened by the Mexican presidency of the United Nations Security Council. In addition to participating in this important meeting, he also interacted with senior UN leadership and members of the Indian community. While interacting with members of the Indian community at the Indian consulate, what did he say? Let's take a look.
We are delighted to have Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, Mr. R.R. Singh, with us here in New York on his first, that is, maiden official visit. Tomorrow he'll participate in UN Security Council deliberations, but right now we have him here at the consulate to interact with the community, to hear from them, to listen to what they have to say about India's growth story, how they can better connect with India, how did they celebrate Diwali, how are they nourishing India's cultural moorings here, and a lot more. So I thank all the viewers of ITV Gold for your constant encouragement, for your participation in the activities of the consulate, and look forward to meeting all of you soon. Thank you.
The US is the largest that we have across the world. Through hard work and determination, you have rightly earned a name for yourself. You have excelled as professional educators, political leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs. We are proud of you. I thank you for your participation in our engagement today. We remain deeply committed to strengthen ties with our diaspora. I wish all of you the very best in your endeavors. Have a pleasant evening ahead. Jai Hind. Our strong people-to-people ties, driven by our robust Indian diaspora. This relationship has been given a new impetus since Prime Minister Modi's meeting with President Biden in September, giving a definite direction prompted by 5 T's: tradition, technology, trade, trust, and talent. Friends, COVID-19 pandemic continues to pose a major health challenges to the world. We are grateful for the initiative shown by the Indian community, not only during our worst phase, but also helping fellow Americans. We are well to our way to fully vaccinate a large section of our population by the end of this year. As we continue to face this challenge, another milestone, our indigenously developed vaccine has been recognized by the World Health Organization for emergency use. We hope that this will help ease travel restriction placed out to some degree. Friends, let me also extend my best wishes as we celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav in 75 years of our independence. Our mission and posts across the world are celebrating this milestone with various programs and initiatives. Please do join us in this celebration.
We will be making a statement on behalf of India at the Council under the presidency of Mexico. The President of Mexico tomorrow will be chairing the session, and that is what brings him here. Sir, we are truly delighted that you are here along with distinguished members of the Indian American community. They all have a very rich and diverse experience of being an academic. He holds a doctorate in geography from University of Guwahati, and just prior to joining politics, he served the University of Manipur in various capacities. Let me also tell you that he is an accomplished author. He has penned 8 books on subjects such as human resource management, security sector reforms, land and livelihood, issues and rights of indigenous people are some of subjects that are dear to his heart and he is passionate about. So I would request all committee members here to welcome Minister Singh with a thundering round of applause.
Namaskar. Welcome to This Week with Padam Shri Dr. Sudhir Parekh on ITV Gold.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. And thank you. Every time you come, you share your opinion and our audience get enlightened. And as we speak today, things are changing in United States of America. Life is coming back to normal, but still there are, remnants of COVID where we are again seeing a little bit rise in the COVID cases. So what's your perspective here?
Well, you are right that we are kind of at tail end of the COVID pandemic. Now this pandemic is becoming more of epidemic. It means that is no more pandemic, but right. Still the cases are rising, winter is coming, cold weather is coming, so people are more indoor with each other, and therefore it's very important that still everyone has to make sure when they are in a crowded space or where they are with the other audience or people where they don't know them well, one should wear the mask when they are indoor. And and also they should obey or observe the guideline of the CDC. And everyone should get vaccinated.
Right.
Because vaccination now, even government tomorrow probably or in a day or so, we're going to say that everyone should take the booster dose, because we know as a scientist, because we are the one who did, we were part of the COVID vaccine trial before it came out in the market. We know that whatever dose were given 6-8 months ago,
right,
that protection is gone more or less. So it's very important to everyone to protect themselves during upcoming winter. They should take the booster.
In fact, you're very correct, Dr. Parikh. There, I would share this instance with a friend of mine. I was talking to her, and she instantly, she's into a profession. She said, "Okay, I want to get my antibody test done," and she had taken one, of course, vaccine. I would not name the vaccine though, and there was 0 antibodies in her body.
No, but again, that antibody test is probably she took the wrong antibody test, because there is the antibody, people perceive that there is IgG antibody comes positive, but it's not true. Its spike antibody has to be positive.
Okay.
So I think she may not be knowing that fact.
No, she was trying to take this test to assess whether she needs a booster or not.
No. But that test has no meaning to whether she needs a booster or not. If there is almost 6 to 8 months time elapsed between the second dose and now, then she must take the booster, because usually the antibody created by the first and second dose usually it declines after 6 to 8 months. So one should go ahead, and luckily in this country booster is available, so we should take it.
That's a very important input from you. Why I ask this question is also that people are perceiving, oh, we had those shots, maybe we still have antibodies in our body, we don't need booster as of now, we'll delay it a couple of months or so. But you're correct.
Yeah, there's no need to delay, because even after booster, it takes another 4 to 6 weeks to get the antibody.
Right.
So there is no sense in delaying, because winter is coming within next. We already started winter in most of the part of the country. Cold weather is there, and people are more indoor. People are more meeting each other in the indoor. So I think best thing is to get the booster. It's a wise thing to do.
Right. And Dr. Parikh, there is another thing I would ask you. There is a peculiar kind of cough that people are having these days. I don't know if you have heard of these instances. People say that we got it from our kids, they got it first. And this cough, when it goes to adults, it's a very irritating cough that is lasting for at least 15 to 20 days. Have you seen any instances there?
Well, those cough could be anything, because myself is a professionally asthma allergy specialist. So that irritating cough, it's not from the vaccine, but it could be from the allergy itself. And once you have allergy, that time you get a lot of mucus in the sinuses and mucus in the throat, and then that goes into lungs, and then lungs goes into spasm. That's why you get cough. And if allergy, as long as you're exposed to that allergens, whatever allergy is, pollen or dust or cat or dog, whatever, or dust mite, then that will last that long unless you intervene and take some anti-allergy medicine.
Thank you for those inputs, in fact. And Dr. Parikh, about the long haulers of COVID, there are people who suffered from COVID, a year back or a year and a half back. They had second COVID attack as well. But there are some long haulers. What is the category you see as people in neurological, symptoms you see more rise, or hypertension, diabetes? What are the things that have gone on?
Well, anything can happen, because COVID is the kind of disease where it affects all the organs, multiple organs. So, not everyone, majority of the people who had COVID does not have a long hauler or no complication. But some small percentage of the people, they have this long hauler. They might have a little brain fog. Some may have persistent, they aggravated allergy. Some might have persistent cough. Some may even have some kind of kidney problem, because of the in the COVID there is a thrombosis happens, and that clogged even blood vessels of the kidney. So these are the different things can happen. But majority of the people does not have any long haul sequelae or complication. Okay. Only very small percentage of patient does have that, and one should should go to their doctor and take care of that.
Thank you. Well, this was about COVID, of course. Let's move a little ahead. Let's go to India now. As you know, that things are heating up in UP right now for the forthcoming Legislative Assembly elections. So what's your take? What do you think, how it is going, with of course, Yogi government has done meticulous work. If we speak about, enriching the heritage of India on an international platform, how the festivals have been celebrated. And of course, Ayodhya was decorated in Diwali colors and everything, the festivity that the world got to know. So we would need your perspective on that as well, sir.
Well, I think UP election is very important election in the India.
Right.
Because it's the largest state in India, has maximum number of seats both in Lok Sabha as well as in the assemblies.
Right.
And therefore it's very critical. And it's like any more than any lot of countries even by itself. And it's very diverse state.
Absolutely.
And I think looking at the news from back home, I think BJP has done excellent work in last 5 years, Yogi government, and a lot of development is there, a lot of good work has been done. So I think BJP will have a majority in the upcoming election. But again, election is election, you never take it granted. And as long as this opposition remains fragmented, BJP should not have any problem. They should win very large number of seats majority.
Right. So there are speculations where they say that the Samajwadi Party may come second but lag behind a lot. The BJP will make it to the mark there with the kind of speculation going on. But having said that, when we speak about, the Uttar Pradesh as a state, a lot of things have happened in the past. I mean, of course, it has its own, if we speak from the demographics, somewhere there is contentment in people of, particular religion, as in there is resentment in some. But when we speak of Yogi ji's governance, how do you equate it? Because I believe people from all the segments are somewhere happy.
Yes, I mean, Chief Minister Yogi's government administration is very, very effective, very strong, and I think they have very decisive administration, and we should applaud for that decisive administration. And they have done a lot of good things. This week, Prime Minister inaugurated a big highway in eastern part of the UP,
right,
where there was no much infrastructure, and now you can travel from Varanasi to Lucknow within no times, as compared to before it used to take more than a day or two. So that shows progress of the infrastructure, and once infrastructure gets better, the economy gets better, because there is a more transportation, easy supply of the goods and so forth.
They are also opening an international airport at Jewar, Gautam Budh Nagar, if we speak about in Uttar Pradesh, if you must have heard of.
Right.
So this is another addition, because in Delhi, UP is near to Delhi, of course, when we speak about so international airport was Delhi only, and now it is coming up as a big international airport at Jewar in Gautam Budh Nagar. So yes, this is happening under Yogi governance.
Right.
So that's where it is. So other than that, of course, we have more things to discuss, Dr. Parikh. When we speak about India, from the perspective when we speak about these elections, so there is always that sentiment, people, the Indian Americans or say NRIs are concentrated there, what's happening in UP or Bihar or, anywhere and everywhere. So from that perspective, what do you have to say? Why is it so that the NRIs are very keen still in Indian elections?
Well, I mean, first generation NRIs are very keen for Indian election.
Right.
I'm not sure about our kids or their kids will be interested that much, because we are emotionally attached to what's happening in India, and we should be. And actually, we should empower our second generation, so they should get attached to the India, and it's very natural. And we Indian or Indian Americans, we are political creature. And we are, by habit or by kind of birth, I would say, we are very much interested in politics and democracy, and therefore I think we are so much interested in it.
Perfect. One more thing, we'll come back to United States of America. In fact, we speak about the former NJ Governor Chris Christie. He made some remarks about President Trump, that President Trump made a very strong statement on the election night. So what's your take there? I mean, is Chris Christie in defensive mode right now? Is he intending to contest for elections? Why is it coming up now with those,
Well, I
interviews?
think probably Chris Christie's remark has a lot of truth to it. But again, he's coming up right now and giving interviews because and he openly even accepted the fact that he is interested in running for 2024 as a presidential candidate, and therefore he is kind of gearing himself not as a conservative Republican, but in the moderate Republican,
Right.
To win the independent votes, and I think that's called politics.
So I believe, I mean, when we speak about bringing up a controversy brings you more fame, is it?
Of
is
course,
it the
there's
game plan
always
here?
it says in journalism that all bad news is a good news for publish.
Absolutely. So let's see how tables turn, and 2024 is not that far, though. Things will heat up for the congressional elections as well in 2022.
Yes, definitely.
And Dr. Parikh, thank you for your time. Every time you come, you give a lot of good perspective to our viewers. Again, a message for our viewers for this week, please.
Well, I would say, dear friends, the COVID pandemic is kind of waning. It's a kind of tail end of the pandemic, but you must get the booster. We are very lucky here in USA that government is giving booster to everyone. And government is going to declare probably in a day or two that booster, everyone above age 18 will be qualified to get the booster. Please get the booster, because whatever you got a few months ago, 6-8 months ago, for first and second dose of vaccine, those antibodies are waning or kind of diminishing. So to protect yourself, protect your loved one, protect your friends, in upcoming winter, please take the booster and make whole America pandemic free. God bless America. God bless India. God bless Indian American. Goodbye. See you next week.
We have tonight highlights from the inaugural event hosted by American Airlines, which featured key members along with Indian Consul General Mr. Randhir Jaiswal. Here is the story. FISANA also is the largest umbrella organization in the Indo-American senior community of the entire country, representing over 20,000 members. Throughout the year, FISANA hosts numerous events to gather together the senior community who miss India and bring forth displays of Indian culture, performance arts, literature, and much more. Recently, FISANA held its annual 2021 gala at the Royal Albert Palace, honoring key members for their efforts and contributions. The event also saw in support Deputy Indian Consul General of New York, along with ITV Gold's chairman, Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parekh. Here is the story.
It's such a great pleasure to be here at FISANA's annual Diwali event here to join all the elderlies and seniors in our society. In my view, there's nothing better than to celebrate Diwali with them, to learn from them and to take their blessings as we also start our new year. A very happy new year to all the brothers and sisters. Thank you so much and a very happy Diwali to you all. Thank you.
Well, we all are lucky here, and I can see that I'm a proud senior citizen myself. I may not look like senior citizen, but I am senior citizen. And I'm very proud of it. Because when you become a senior citizen, you get a lot of experience, good and bad, lot of wisdom, good and bad. And you would like to advise a lot to the people, even though they don't listen to you, or they may not listen to you, or they may listen to you. But what you are doing here, you have created India outside India, India in USA. And believe me, even in Ahmedabad, senior citizen does not have this kind of gathering. So I must congratulate Deepak Bhai, Rati Bhai, and all FISANA to create this kind of atmosphere. And again, of course, credit also goes to Vishnu Bhai Patel and Manar Bhai Patel, who really holds the flag in the New York State. Please keep it up, because of you, our family gets a sanskar and empower the young generation with our sanskar, our sanskriti, our religion, our faith teaching, and that way you will see that your generation to come will be very successful, very honest, and very, very accomplished. So again, wish you all the best, and again, Nutan Varsha Abhinandan, and wish you all the best for coming New Year. Thank you.
ITV के दर्शकों को दिवाली और विक्रम संवत 2079 की शुभकामनाएं। आप सबको प्रभु श्रीनाथ जी बाबा स्वास्थ्य अच्छा बख्शे और समृद्ध रहो, सुखी रहो, आनंदी रहो एंड प्रभुमय जीवन बिताने की प्रयत्न करो, ऐसी प्रभु को प्रार्थना। आज यहाँ फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडियन अमेरिकन सीनियर सिटीजन एसोसिएशन की दिवाली की शुभ मिलन की रात है। पूरा हॉल में करीबन 1000 पीपल आए हैं और एंजॉय कर रहे हैं। ऐसे ही ये कोरोना के 1.5 साल में से जैसे कोई पंछी पक्षी पिंजरे में से निकलता है, ऐसे आज लोग निकल के सब एंजॉय करने का आए हैं। तो ITV के दर्शकों को फिर से एक बार किरण देसाई का खास नए साल की शुभकामनाओं और आपको प्रभु हमेशा सुखी रखे। जय श्री कृष्ण, जय श्री वल्लभ।
વિષ્ણુભાઈ પટેલ, આજે ફિસારાનું સિનિયર સિટીઝનોનું છેલ્લા 20 વર્ષથી ચાલતો પ્રોગ્રામ આજે અદ્ભુત ગયો। બધા તે સાથે સહકાર મળી દાનની રકમો આપી આ ફિસારાને દિવસે દિવસે કેમ એની પ્રવૃત્તિઓ વધે, બધા સિનિયરો અને ઇન્ડિયનો એક થઈ અને સમાજનું અને દેશનું હિત ઈચ્છે એવી અમારા બધાની ખૂબ ખૂબ શુભેચ્છાઓ। આભાર।
Good evening. My name is G.K. Patel. Today we are all get together at Royal Albert to celebrate FISANA's annual day. It is very, very good organized program today. We have approximately 400 people attending the program. So far, music and food is as usual like Albert Palace. You get a good food and everybody enjoying the program. God bless America, God bless USA. Thank you. I'm a past president and one of the original, initially, we started in FISANA. I'm the second or third president of FISANA, past president. And FISANA is right now, it's more than 20 years and servicing all Indian seniors in New Jersey and around other states around too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Mukund Mehta and my wife's name is Padma Mehta. Today we had come to attend FISANA's Diwali program. This was a great program. Number of associations have been represented under the umbrella of FISANA and everybody enjoys it. And the main thing is that the seniors who take a part in various activities, they always remain young. So it is by appeal that age is just the number. It is the participation in various activities that will make you young and energetic.
Thank you. Thank you, ITV. My name is Deepak Shah, chairman of the FISANA. Tonight was a great event of a Diwali function of FISANA, Federation of Indo-American Senior Associations from North America. Every year we do some program to elevate the life of senior people in the tri-state area. This year we have a unique program because of the last year we could not do any event because of pandemic. I guess seniors are more get lifted with any kind of program where they can be appreciated.
Our group from Ben Salam, Pennsylvania, and we are proud to be here. We are senior citizen there, and our group is always get together 5 times a year. We do the Diwali functions, we do the picnic, and we do the Garba Raj.
Sunny Patel from Ben Salam, Indo-American Senior Citizen Association. We proud to be here with the FISANA. FISANA is, we came first time, but we enjoy and everything. And we do the same thing. Thank you. Happy Diwali, Happy New Year, Raja Party.
Hi, my name is Praveen Shah. I have been invited in the FISANA to represent my hospital, called Jalaram Hospital, which is in the Meghraj, in the state of Gujarat, near the border of Gujarat and Rajasthan. This hospital has been a 25-year-old hospital, but it is using a very old technology, and the hospital is falling apart. So I made a proposal to build a new hospital with the latest technology. And right now, over there is 85% population, the poor people. We provide a free service to everybody.
Namaskar. Welcome to ITV Gold. My name is Jyotsna Sharma and today we are sitting with a special guest. A person who has made a history of a specific kind because he is the first South Asian and the youngest mayor-elect for the township of Edison. Edison is famous in New Jersey, in the United States of America, for the number of Indian Americans reside here and the kind of local businesses that we have, the businesses that are occupied by the Indian Americans here, that brings it another good name. And being the mayor of Edison as the Indian American immigrant kid, this itself is historic. Today we have Sameep Joshi, also known as Sam Joshi, with us, with whom we will be interacting and we'll get to know what his further plans are. Sam, heartiest congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ITV Gold and Jyotsna, for having me today, this evening. I'm excited to answer all your questions and any more that you may have.
Perfect. I have a whole big list of questions for you, and these questions have come from local residents as well.
Okay.
When I told them that we are going to go live with Sam, they said, okay, we have some good questions, and they have a lot of expectations from you.
Yes.
My first question is, after winning the mayoral elections, what next? And how would you put your promises to fruition?
So it's people, that night I was very thankful to have won the election. And we left our headquarters at about 4:30 in the morning that night. I went to sleep at about 5 a.m. and I got up around 9:30 that same morning, just less than a few hours of sleep. I went to town hall, I went to Mayor Lanke's office, and we had our first conversation with the business administrator, the township attorney, his whole team, and we actually just started discussing what the whole transition process was going to be. I fully committed myself, as I said during the campaign trail, to be a full-time mayor, rolling up my sleeves. I am more than excited to work for Edison Township. I'm incredibly thankful for this opportunity, and I want to make sure that I make Edison proud for now and the future.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Next question is about, you have made promises about reducing taxes, investment in infrastructure, and stopping the overdevelopment. These are your prime promises. So what is your plan of action for them?
So reducing the tax burden for our residents, addressing overdevelopment, stopping unnecessary and excessive development in town, and launching municipal broadband were amongst my highest priorities, and to this day still remain my highest priorities. I'm going to make sure I work directly with the Executive Review Committee for the master plan to make sure that we can work towards a real solution on the amount of growth in township right now. We have to have managed growth. We have to have smart growth in town. The way that we do that is by staggering the amount of development that comes into town, making sure that those developers that do want to do work in town can do so at a reasonable, fair, they're reasonable and fair to the residents that are living in Edison. We just can't have, and we can't afford any more unnecessary, excessive development. And it's my highest priority as mayor. I'm going to roll up my sleeves and make sure we get to that point.
All right. So Sam, we understand that you will be aligning with your team and, we plan to do it. But do you think, is it a cakewalk? How tough it is going to be? What's your anticipation? There are a lot of peers who might pressurize you about certain things. There are a lot of other things. The promises that we make, sometimes they are achievable for 50%, 60%. What is the timeline or, you want to draw there so that people have their set expectations? Nothing can happen overnight,
Yep. So we have a very large agenda. Edison has some significant challenges all throughout town. Everywhere you go, you look at the townhomes that are trying to be built in certain parts of town. You look at warehouses that are trying to be built in certain parts of town, large development complexes that are trying to be built around town. The solution is making sure that we work with the entire team to make sure that we address these concerns. And I believe that I'll be able to do it with the help of the council. The good thing is that we have the majority of the council directly willing to work with my team as well. So it's going to be, I would say for the first time, the mayor, the council, and the Board of Education are going to be working hand in hand. I've had my conversations with the newly elected Board of Ed members, current Board of Ed members, current council, newly elected council that I ran with that were on my ticket. I'm very excited for all of us to be working on the same page together. That's going to be something that we have not seen in years, if not decades. We just haven't seen that type of conformity and a similar vision. And I'm happy to say that everyone that I've reached out to has been more than willing to sit down, discuss exactly what needs to be done. I'm excited about the future. Our transition team has been working directly with Mayor Lenke right now, as well as the current Board of Ed and council members, to make sure that we can get the agenda moving on day one, just as I said, throughout the entire campaign.
Sam, in addition to this, because since you are one of the youngest South Asians, or say the youngest mayors here, right, in this race, and how do you plan to create some enthusiasm in the youth? You must have seen yourself, the youth are not much inclined towards politics. Somewhere or other, there is some sentiment in the youth that politics is not our game. It's a dirty work, or it's, there are many other things that people think about. What would be your, thought process that you would like to share to inspire the youth to participate in the, local government bodies or other things where, they're raised to the power circles? Youth, the young blood definitely has, different kind of creativity and enthusiasm, which we want to explore.
So since I first took office, actually, when I first ran for council in 2017, I made a commitment and a promise that I was going to launch the Edison Youth Service Corps, and I did exactly that in 2018. The Edison Youth Service Corps is a program that allows the youth in our town from both high schools to be able to shadow different directors and different branches, departments within our municipal government. So if you're an aspiring attorney, if you're an aspiring attorney or aspiring architect or in engineering, you can be placed in a judge's office and the engineering office or the planning and zoning department. So you can directly shadow the different levels of government, and you can learn what it's like to really work with other individuals that are in the same field trajectory that you want to be in, except they're working for government. And I wanted to showcase that for the youth. We launched that program with just 40 students in 2018. In 2019, that program grew to 50 students. 2020, during the pandemic, we had an option to either shut it down for the year or continue with it. That was the year that I actually decided myself that I was going to do it with 100 students, all virtually. As mayor, I guarantee that this is going to be the largest program that Edison Township has seen for the youth. I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that the youth feels connected to their local government, and they make sure that they can understand why getting involved in local government is extremely important, how it can directly, how you can also have a sense of pride. If you're an aspiring architect and you want to be working on a project, for example, the library that's going to be built on one part of town, you can design that library. These are things that the youth needs to understand that I will make sure I go out of my way for.
Excellent. And this is going to be very encouraging for a lot of parents, in fact, if they are watching tonight, Sam, one more thing about, drug abuse, substance abuse, as we speak about. So it's not just about Edison. In United States of America, there are many such cities, states, and towns where this menace is bad. And how do you plan to control it? Being the mayor of Edison, the school system, drugs are easily available. And, if we speak about schools and their restrooms, the toilets, you don't have access there. Most of the abuse happens there, as we have heard of, because there are no cameras, there is no supervision. You have yourself studied at Edison, as you said, right? What's the solution to it?
So there's different fronts that we need to address this on. And first being enforcement. I want to make sure that we enforce, we should have a zero tolerance policy on substance abuse and or illicit drugs coming into Edison Township. We have to enforce that. Our police department does a good job. What I want to make sure we do right now is, first we need a canine unit. Believe it or not, canine units actually help the most when it comes to busting drugs. We need to have those resource officers in our Board of Education system. We have not had them for about 10 years now, since our last canine in Edison Township passed away. He was retired, and we actually had 2 over the last 15 years. But we need to make sure that we get a canine unit back, implement them in our school systems, and then apart from that, right, apart from the enforcement side of it, we have to make sure that our students and our youth are engaged in extracurricular activities. At the end of the day, the best way to prevent a student from even falling down that hill, going into that trap of drugs and illicit, any drugs at all, the best way to do that is by making sure that our kids stay busy. And we have to do that through extracurricular activities and recreation. When you make sure that your student is going to play football or soccer or baseball or Model UN or Key Club, all these extracurricular activities will keep your student and keep the youth busy. We need to make sure that we have a lot of these programs readily available immediately after school and well into the evening. That's really the way to make sure that your kids stay busy. There's always different activities that they can do, no matter what whether it's an art club, whether it's a chess league. It could be whatever the extracurricular activity is. We need to find and make sure that with our 100,000 residents, amongst all of the kids and all of the youth, the 16,000 youth that we have currently attending our school system, we keep them busy.
Sam, these are excellent ideas which you're giving about, extracurricular activities. But the question is, how much money are you going to set aside for if the township has some funds, to sponsor such programs? Because not every parent can, afford these extracurricular activities with the limited sources of income. It's the township, the taxpayers' money that comes into action. Is there any plan to put some amount of money for these kind of activities that the township wants to sponsor?
Yes. So Edison Township actually allocates more funds towards our recreation than all of the larger municipalities above us. We spend more on recreation and on youth programs than the other cities that are above us. But what we have to do is we have to use our tax dollars smarter. We have to make sure that we're allocating them in a way that we can also use them towards generating revenue. I was actually speaking to a football coach this morning about how we can generate more revenue for their Pop Warner team. And it's not going to, and actually what I said to him is, look, Edison Township right now is allocating $12,000 a year towards this particular sport. And the solution, what was suggested was, why don't we just pay more into it? And I said, no, that's not the solution. We have to come up with new and innovative ways to fund these. So what I suggested, for example, is making sure that we generate enough, we should be able to generate revenue. They should be able to generate revenue amongst themselves. And we can provide those tools. We can provide the necessary means, whether it's a snack stand, whether it's rental of a turf field, whatever that may be. But we want to make sure that these teams are self-sustaining so that they can continue to grow, and we're not using tax dollars to simply plug the hole.
All right. Sam, you are full of good ideas. And we just hope and wish that they actually come into reality and people become happy and they, take the pride in saying, hey, we voted for Sam. So our best wishes to you for your, whole term. And my last question is, you will be serving as a mayor for next 4 years. Is there any plan for a re-election for mayor or a higher seat? Because brilliant or say bright young people like you do deserve to go better places as well.
So I'm a homebody and I love Edison Township. I'm fully committed to it. There are significant challenges that we have. The fact of the matter is that we have not moved in Edison Township in terms of our infrastructure, our real needs in decades. We need to make sure that we address this. And the only way that we can do that is if I completely dedicate my time 100% to Edison Township, and I plan to do exactly just that, working side by side with the council and the Board of Education. I'm here to stay.
Awesome. Last line from you: to attract more money or say investment or taxes in this township by inviting visitors, what would that be?
We have a huge opportunity with tourism in Edison Township. We happen to be nearly equidistant between New York City and Philadelphia. We happen to have, we always say all roads lead to Edison Township. 287, Route 1, Parkway Turnpike, all roads lead to Edison. And capitalizing on this and our tourism market as well is going to be key to moving forward. I plan to do that. I've already met with a number of business leaders throughout different parts of town, and we've been working towards what we want to achieve in our master plan, and that includes a tourism component to it. You'd be very surprised to learn that there's a huge market and a huge growth opportunity that we can be proud of, which would directly fall under managed growth for Edison.
Thank you so much, Sam. Well, this was Sam Joshi. You know, he has all that charisma, that enthusiasm, and we hope he lives up to them. Sam, wish you all the best. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
We have reached 2.6 million of the 28 million children already, which experts said is a good sign. Studies have shown that this vaccine currently especially is extremely effective at preventing hospitalizations as well as deaths from the coronavirus, and it's imperative that young Americans get vaccinated. On this, we have now highlights from Hackensack Meridian Health in New Jersey, where children were recently inoculated for the first time at the Jersey Shore University Hospital near Asbury Park. Here's a story of Hackensack Meridian Health's efforts towards vaccinations of children in the state.
Guess what? You were awesome. All finished. That was it.
I'm getting my COVID vaccine.
And how do you feel about that?
Brave and also happy.
So why do you feel great and happy that you're getting your vaccine today?
Because I don't really know. I just feel that way because I really want to stop COVID from spreading, and I don't get COVID. I don't know. I do not know. I just feel that way.
I got my vaccine.
And was it fun?
Mm-mm.
No? Did it hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. So why is it important that people get their vaccines?
So people can stay safe, and your family and your teachers and your sport teachers.
Alexa.
Okay, what's your name?
Matthew.
Awesome. So what happened today, guys?
We got vaccinated with COVID shot.
We got vaccinated.
And why is it important that you guys get vaccinated?
So we stay safe.
It doesn't hurt, and it would be safe for you.
Awesome. And how old are you?
7.
And how old are you?
11.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
I got my vaccine.
So why did you get your vaccine?
To protect me from COVID.
Do you want to protect any other people from COVID?
Yes.
Who do you want to protect from COVID?
My family and my friends.
That's right. So what would you tell your friends if they were scared to come in today?
It doesn't feel like much. You only feel a pinch for like a second.
Getting the COVID vaccine.
So when I ask you a question, just try to answer back in a sentence. So if I say, what are we doing today? Just say, today I'm getting the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
So what are we doing today?
Today I'm getting the COVID vaccine.
And how do you feel about that?
I feel great.
Why do you feel great?
Because I am safe from getting COVID.
And are you going to help keep other people safe as well?
Yeah.
So I brought my children to finally get vaccinated against COVID-19 today. It's a day that we've been waiting for. It's really important for us and for us as parents, but also as physicians, to have our children vaccinated, because I think it's our way of doing our part to hopefully end the pandemic. And I mean, as a pediatric rheumatologist, the patients that I have been taking care of are those patients with multi-organ inflammatory syndrome in children after COVID-19, or MISC. And really, the rates are showing now that these are the age group that are more affected these days with COVID. So this really means a lot to us.
It's a really exciting day for us today. My daughter, who's 7 years old, just got vaccinated with the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. And this is such a significant milestone in our fight against COVID-19. It's the best way to keep children in school, in person, for the rest of the year. And it's by far the safest and most effective way that we can prevent getting kids infected with COVID-19.